Okay, I'm going to welcome Mr. Larry Elford, former CFP, CIM, FCSI, Associate Portfolio Manager, regarding City Council policy reviews.
There are a few titles that investment professionals are allowed to call. Marketing has taken over in my industry, and now nearly anyone in the investment industry can misuse the titles that should only be used by investment professionals, those who have the proper licensing. Investment providers that the city has used in the past imply that they are not simple salespersons, but in fact someone professional by misusing a title called advisor. The city's current investment policy does not reflect this industry practice, protect the city from license misrepresentation. The advisor title applies a different license and vastly different duties of care than the salesperson title. The title of advisor implies a duty of care from a professional, while the title of salesperson should warn buyer beware. The use of an advisor title implies or promises a fiduciary duty, much like the word doctor comes with an oath to do no. So here's one example of how the industry does this. If you had $1 million to invest today, would you prefer that the investment person at the other end of the phone be a licensed advisor with a fiduciary duty to care for you, or at least, like a doctor, to at least do no harm to you? Or would you be comfortable with someone calling themselves an advisor who A, has no advisor license, and B, has no duty to place your interests ahead? Industry are paid 100% by the financial industry, and so they have some incentives to tread very lightly on enforcement of certain rules which get in the way of. The top regulator is paid $700,000, and the top 4 securities regulators share salaries of combined salary totaling $2 million. So for that, what you get is very compliant, complicit regulators, and they're in the enforcement of rules to protect you or to protect the people in the audience on their investments. Simply do not often get. The trick that I see, or the potential trap still remaining in this investment policy, is the city does not define whether they're dealing with a salesperson or a dealing representative or a registered representative or a fiduciary advisor. And that allows the city to be sold something by a salesperson on commission when they're actually assuming that they're getting some kind of duty, obligation, best interest, fiduciary interest, whatever the levels are. It's not reflected in the city's policy. So to give you a good example, I brought 2 bottles of water with me today, one that I'm going to drink from during my presentation, and the other which I guarantee you is suitable for drinking. And the only obligation and the only requirement that the persons you deal with on investments is a suitability standard. That's it. It used to be that had to be in the best interest of the customer. It used to be that there was a fiduciary obligation to place the customer's interest first. Now that has been entirely taken away by the regulators that you referred to and the self-regulators that you admire, and the obligation is simply that they sell you something that is suitable. Ladies and gentlemen, you bought $30 million worth of investments which meet the definition of suitable in the same way that this water is drinkable. That's a trap, that's a trick, you fell for it, and I'd like to see the city not fall for that trap again. That's my reason for being here.
Okay. Thank you. Councillor Awas.